This whole book is like a giant catfish. It was so good. It was so good. Just don't know what's happening. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Cece and I like to read. If you do too, we'll probably be friends. You'll fit right in here. Today we are going to be doing a reading vlog. If you guys have seen my physical TBR, you guys may or may not be aware that I am trying to read more science fiction this year. Science fiction has been a genre that I have left untouched because I was a child that was raised on Star Wars, Star Trek, Stargate Atlantis, I think it was. And I never really loved those movies and TV shows. They were okay. I think I just got my fill of sci-fi when I was younger, that I just never was really interested in reading sci-fi books as I got older. However, over the years, I have been far more intrigued by outer space and the cosmos and the whole universe. And I have gotten into astronomy, so much so that I even thought about going to school to become an astrophysicist. Until I did my research and I realized I definitely do not want to be in that profession. But regardless, I do want to read some more science fiction books this year. So this is going to be a science fiction reading vlog. I'm really excited. So to start this video off, I will be reading Ready Player One by Ernest Cline. This book has been on my shelf for so long and it is high time that I finally pick it up and give it a read. Then more recently, I have purchased This Is How You Lose the Time War by Amal El Motar and Max Gladstone. And another really exciting pick is Project Hail Mary by Andy Weir? How are we saying this? It's kind of like a running joke, I think, in all of my videos that I don't know how to pronounce anything, so please don't take offense. I struggle. And then on Kindle, I have found The Murderbot Diaries. It kind of sounds like a 7-book series of short stories because I want to say that they're all under 200 pages, but The Murderbot Diaries are on Kindle Unlimited and they are by Martha Wells. Also, it's on Apple TV, so I'm like, cool, I have something to watch afterwards. So I wanted to read The Murderbot Diaries, at least dip my toes into the first book. I believe it's called All Systems Red. Full disclosure though, I did already start on Ready Player One by Ernest Cline. I am 102 pages in, and so far I'm really enjoying it. It was quite repetitive in the beginning, but other than that, I'm enjoying it, and I found myself staying up later than I intended to last night, just so I could continue reading a little bit. And then first thing this morning with my cup of coffee, I picked this book right up again. I'm invested. I am enjoying it. I did watch the movie years ago, and so far the movie is quite different. And I'm not really sure if that was a good thing or a bad thing. I don't really remember too much of the movie, but this book is wildly entertaining so far, so I think that's all we need to know. Ready Player One follows along 18-year-old Wade Watts, who goes by the name of Parzival. In the year of 2044, the world is basically decomposing. It is not a place to be. There is an energy crisis, there is extreme climate change, there's an oil shortage, there's extreme poverty and hunger. People are living in these trailer home stacks that are shown on the front of the book. Like, this is where our main character lives. And basically, in order to escape this terrible decomposing world where everyone's hungry and doesn't know what to do with their lives and there's a very high unemployment rate, they go online to the Oasis, which is a virtual reality simulation. When the creator of the Oasis, named Halliday, ends up dying, he creates this game, or otherwise known as the Hunt, for Halliday's Easter eggs, which he hid in the Oasis. And the first person to find all of his Easter eggs gets to own the company, all of his money, and all of his shares in the company that started the Oasis. And our main character, Wade, ends up finding the first Easter egg for Halliday's hunt and is thrown into this wild adventure. I have been really surprised how much I've been enjoying this book. I didn't really think I would like it that much, but it's comical, it's cute, it's very, very dorky. There's a lot of video game references, a lot of the 80s references, because Halliday was obsessed with the 80s. And of course, I don't really know too much about the 80s, but despite that, I find that it's really enjoyable just to see how these references are all playing out. The whole Oasis as well sounds absolutely wild. I mean, there are sectors like a Rubik's Cube, and there's different planets and galaxies in each sector. So the Oasis in of itself is quite ginormous, and it's basically the reality everyone is living in this book, which is a little bit appalling because what the hell, like, you guys couldn't fix your world? That's kind of what's happening. Again, so far, really enjoying this. It has been a page turner, a little bit of repetitiveness that was kind of annoying in the beginning, but yeah, I'm really curious about how this book continues. I've been really enjoying it so far. I think the character Parzival, or Wade, is pretty funny. He's like an 18-year-old boy, that's for sure. And he's just very humorous. He's very bright, really smart kid. And he's on this adventure, which I do love a good adventure. So I think I might actually really like this book. But I am going to go ahead and update you guys later on how this book is coming out. I'll probably read a little bit tonight. Time. So it's been a couple days. Yeah, I didn't read too much over the past couple days for a couple of reasons, but mostly I've been having an eczema breakout, not only on my hands, but also on my eyelids. I can't tell you why. I don't know. This eyelid in particularly, it was like swelling, and it was just so uncomfortable to like read more than I had to, and I really didn't want to be on camera either because, yeah, having my eyes open for any amount of time was agonizing. So I haven't really filmed a lot, but I've been putting hydrocortisone cream on it, and it seems to be helping. It's gotten better. The swelling has gone down. I am thankful for that, and here we are. So I'm on page 283 of Ready Player One. I also started All Systems Red in the Murderbot Diaries couple days ago. Was it yesterday? I think it was yesterday. And I'm not gonna talk too much about that one yet because I just started it. I think I got like 20% in or something. I'll talk about that one later. But Ready Player One has been overall, like, so far, it's been really good. I'm happy that I read it and didn't let the movie impact me reading this. I mean, it did impact me reading the book because I didn't want to read it because I had the movie fresh in my mind. But the movie is not like the book. I think the movie shares the same premise, but I think the book takes completely different turns in the overall story and in what's kind of going on for the characters. So I've actually been enjoying it more than the movie, I want to say. I might have to rewatch the movie after I get done reading it to really confirm that. But it's basically, it's like this nerd haven. There's a lot of traveling, there's a lot of like sci-fi elements as well as like dystopian elements, which I'm not really a big fan of either of those genres, but I'm digging it. I'm digging it. I do think the repetitiveness continued. Not a big fan of that. And I also did find that there's like a lull in the middle of the book, which I actually appreciated. I won't say too much because I don't want to give out spoilers, but I did appreciate why it kind of slowed down in the middle of the book. I thought it was very realistic. Given the male main character's age and background and kind of what he's going through, I do think it made a lot of sense. However, I think the pacing for that part of the book could have been a little bit quicker, or at least a little, I don't know, it could have just been different. Something was missing in that little section, and again, it was like very minuscule considering it was just the middle of the book. I have like less than 100 pages to go, so I'm gonna keep reading and I'll check in with you guys later. You can totally tell that this is written by a man. He said, the first caller's avatar appeared in front of me in my support chat room. His name and stats also appeared, floating in the air above him. he had the astoundingly clever name of Hot Cock 007. I could see that it was going to be another fabulous day. Like only a male author would write this. Oh! I'm getting goosebumps. Things are getting wild. H and Parsival just met like in real life. This whole book is like a giant catfish. Like no one looks like their avatar. Is this shirt see-through? God, I hope not. Okay, so it is later today, same day, and I've finished Ready Player One. I really enjoyed this book. This book was such a fun adventure. Yeah, Ernest Cline did a phenomenal job with this book. I'm going to give it 4.75 stars. The characters were so fun-loving. They felt very real, very distinguishable. They had their own sense of humor, their own strengths, their own weaknesses. I really loved all of them. And then the world and the setting in of itself, like I said, just spectacular. I mean, again, he did a great job. And there are some parallels of what is kind of happening and what has been happening in our world in this book, and kind of like what could come of AI and of virtual reality and of people just being on social media and not really interacting with people in real life, not really wanting to do anything in real life. I mean, we have like virtual everything these days, and it is just amplified times a million in this book, and it's scary. I think that if you're a nerd for anything, like, you'd probably love this book, because like I don't even know everything that was referenced in this book, but I still really enjoyed it. I thought like just the whole hunt for Halliday's Easter egg is what they were calling it in here. It was so fun and so high stakes, yet the characters made it seem very like as if they were just going about their day playing any game, and I thought that that was just really lighthearted. It was very fun. Even though the stakes were high, Ernest Cline had a way of weaving in humor and just day-to-day life in this story, and I ate it up. I think it could have been like a 5-star read for me. I'm only giving it a 4.7 just because of that one pacing issue that I kind of had in the middle of the book. Just kind of took me out of the story for a little bit. And then towards the end, there was a lot of the use of I language, and it was just I this, I this, I this, I this. And it was just so glaringly obvious that that's how several sentences began that it just unnerved me enough for me to just bump the rating down just a little bit. However, I think it's a great read. Honestly, I think this is a perfect book to get me into my sci-fi journey for this video. So book number 1 is complete. And I think Ready Player One is going to be really difficult to top. So as I said in the last clip, I am reading the first book in the Murderbot Diaries, and I'm reading that one on my Kindle, and I'm kind of saving that for when I have like less intense cardio days at the gym. So I'm gonna open up another sci-fi book. Guys, I might be a sci-fi book nerd after this. I've heard all of these books are so good. Decisions. Before I change my mind, I'm gonna go with Project Hail Mary. So Project Hail Mary is next, and let's cut to the montage. Little update. So I started reading Project Hail Mary today. I'm on chapter 9, page 150. Hi Nebbies! Oh, so lovely for you to grace me with your presence. Hello. Page 154. I'm eating this book up. This is so suspenseful. We're following along Neb. So this book is a first person point of view. We're following along Dr. Ryland Grace, who is awake in space on a spaceship hurtling towards a sun. And basically we get flashbacks of how he got on this spaceship and why he's on this spaceship and the purpose of the mission of Project Hail Mary. There's been a lot of suspense as to what is happening. The pacing is really great. It's fast paced. It has a lot of suspense, a lot of mystery, lots of intrigue of what is happening and what's going to happen next. So I've been really enjoying it. I've been eating it up. So I already knew that I was a nerd, but call me an uber nerd. These sci-fi books are blowing me away. I just finished Project Hail Mary and my lord, this book is so freaking good. Like just a non-stop suspense. Total page turner. The characters were just so amazing. I loved Rocky. I loved Grace. I loved Strat. I like Dimitri. Like all of the characters are just so awesome and their dynamics between each other amazing, very fun, very entertaining. There's comedy, the characters can be sarcastic, there's language barriers, there's just like love it, and the setting, and then the whole plot in of itself. There's so much time that passes throughout this book, but yet everything is like, we have to hurry, we have to hurry. Like the world as we know it is at stake and we have to save it. Like it was an adrenaline rush. I loved it. This is amazing. I'm rating it 5 stars. 5 stars. Absolutely no complaints. I love that it was like somewhat educational too. I don't know how accurate the science in this book is. However, I have heard that Andy Weir did research and speak to a lot of different scientists for this novel, even though he's talking about stuff that I can only somewhat comprehend as he is explaining it in the book. It makes sense, it works, and it's fabulous. It's absolutely fabulous, honestly. I have no other words except go pick up a copy. I'm converted now. This is so great. Yeah, just love that book. Made me smile, made me laugh, made me tear up a little bit. Not like full-blown crying or sobbing, but like I did well up with some tears every once in a while. It was so good. It was so good. Anyways, I've been reading all morning, so I'm going to take a little break, head to the gym. I will probably continue reading All Systems Red, get in a good workout, come back home, take a shower, and then read some more. And then let's see where the next sci-fi adventure takes us. I'm really excited. Like that book just got me pumped up, you know? I was feeling so pumped about reading and pumped for the gym. I'm back. And I hate to say it, but I think, actually no, I don't think. I know I am not going to be continuing reading All Systems Red. I left off at 46%, which is chapter 5. Yeah, it's not for me. It's not for me. I literally had no interest in any of the characters. I didn't really know what was happening. Like there was no proper backstory. Yeah, I don't know. I just didn't care. And it was very like cut up too. Like it was just, oh, okay, we're over here. Oh, now we're over here. Okay, now we're doing this. Now we're doing this. And I completely lost interest. I know that this is a part of a series, so if it's good, let me know. Maybe I'll try and pick it up again at some other time. But right now, after reading Ready Player One and Project Hail Mary, I'm on a good roll. And so I don't really feel like trying to read any more of this. So basically, because I know I didn't say this before, All Systems Red follows along a murder bot kind of all we know about him, her. I don't think it doesn't have a gender, so it's an it. And the murder bot whose POV we're following is actually sentient, and it's able to decide for itself. It's able to overrule some of its programming, and it basically is like a lazy murder bot. Like, there's no murdering either. Like, yeah, there's nothing going on. He, she, it, whatever, has not murdered a single thing, and this murder bot is just this scientific team's aid on this planet that we know nothing about, really. Yeah, and that's really all I got from this story. I'm assuming because it's a series, like, this first book just kind of paints the scene. Yeah, it just wasn't my cup of tea, wasn't feeling it, and I'm on a good roll with reading some really good books, so I'm not having it. Leave a comment down below, let me know if you've read it, if you've enjoyed the series, if you enjoyed the book, if I should continue. So I'm going to finish this video off with hopefully another 4 to 5 star read with This Is How You Lose the Time War. So this is the next read. Yeah, I'm gonna go take a shower and then we'll get into this one. Yay! I'm not gonna lie, I don't really know what's happening in this book. I mean, the prose is brilliant, I will say that. It's wonderful, but it is quite disarming at first because there's no descriptions, there's no backstory. There's just no way to understand really what's going on. The only thing we know is that there's 2 characters, there's Red and then there's Blue, and they are fighting in a war that has been going on for who knows how long, and it's a time war. These 2 characters basically time travel along the braids of time, and they go back to the past to try and alter it in order for them to win the war that's currently taking place between these 2 sides. It sounds like, from what I gather, and I did have to look this up on Google, I didn't get spoilers, I just needed to understand what was going on and to make sure I was on the right track with what I was reading. So basically, Red works for the agency, which is one side of the war that is very technology driven. It sounds like Red is kind of like a cyborg. And then there is Blue that works for the garden, that is more so about maintaining the natural order, very like organic kind of people. I don't really even know. I'm not really sure. Basically, all that has happened has been these 2 characters going back in time, and they are trying to complete missions that, again, I have no knowledge of. And then they find letters, and they are writing to each other over the course of time and history. And gosh, they must be so patient, because it sounds like they wait for years before receiving a letter from one another. And the letters, I will say, are the best part of this story thus far. There's also this other character called the Seeker that is trying to gather the letters from both Blue and Red after Blue and Red reads them. I don't know anything about the Seeker yet. That has not come to light at all so far. I'm enjoying it to the point where I'm very curious. I want to know more. I want to know what's happening. I want to know more about these characters. I just want to see the story develop because I just don't know what's happening. And the writing style is absolutely stunning. I really like Blue's writing in this, and I want to say that that's Amal El-Motar. She wrote Blue and all the letters from Blue, so I really like Blue. I'm just gonna keep reading, and we'll see how this one turns out, I guess. This book took a lot longer for me to read than I originally thought 198 pages would take me to read. It's been a very humbling experience. So I finished This Is How You Lose the Time War this morning. I thought I would complete it last night. That didn't happen. I know in the last clip I said that, like, we didn't know who the Seeker was. We do find out who the Seeker is, and I did enjoy the Seeker's role in this story. I think it added a lot of intrigue. I thought it was pretty well done. I thought it was quite magical. The letters in of themselves, because it's not your typical pen to paper letter. The letters that Blue and Red leave each other are shrouded in magic and shrouded with time. It's really interesting to see what their letter ends up being in next. So if you read the book, you know what I mean. Again, the prose though was magnificent. Like within 30 pages in, I had this deep feeling of anxiousness, of longing, of desire, of loneliness, heartache. I just felt so many intense emotions that I wasn't expecting, because it wasn't like anything was really happening thus far in the story. But that feeling continued on until the end. I really do think that that speaks to how talented the authors are for being able to evoke such strong emotions. Even though there's nothing transpiring in the book, at least in like a detailed manner, I did find myself being drawn to the storyline even when I wasn't reading. I do think that this book allows the reader to fill in the blanks and kind of almost come up with their own storyline, because again, like the details in this book are not very detailed. There's not really much description, there's not really too much background, there's not really too much of anything. I think this book alludes to the weight of what war is, and it's less so to do about the actual story of like red or blue side, like the agency side or the garden side. I think it just has to do with the weight of what happens when you're in a war. You originally think stereotypes about the other side, you think that you're so different, and then when you actually build a bridge through communication, you end up finding out that you're not so different after all, and you find out that you do have similarities with the other side, and through that communication you can ultimately like fight together instead of fighting against each other. But I think that that was like the theme, or like the actual like weight of this book. That was really like all that the war was meant to show us, was I think that message. It's really difficult to read such a well crafted book because both of these authors are so talented, like just from reading this. And of course, like I've read Amal El-Motar's The River Has Roots, and that was also beautiful. So it's really difficult to rate a really well done book, because like there's a part of me that wants to rate it like 5-6 stars, because I think it's going to stay with me for a very long time. However, like my rating system is more objective. So I think like feeling wise goes, I would probably rate it like 5 to 6 stars, just because I think it's going to stick with me for a very long time. I think I'm going to be thinking about the story. I think I'm going to be thinking about the characters and what happens furthermore for them. But objectively, this book would only get a 4-star from me. Like my engagement was only like somewhat there. I did enjoy it, but I also didn't. Like I wish that I did have more backstory on the war. I wish I did have more about the garden and the agency and red and blue and the Seeker's mission and I wish that I just had more of it. And I felt very similarly when I read The River Has Roots. I wanted more of that story too. So I don't know if it's just Amal El-Motar leaving me hungry for more. I don't think that there necessarily needs to be more. I think the story stands very strong all on its own. But I personally wish that there was more. So anyways, you guys, this was an incredibly fun video. I thoroughly enjoyed myself. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I definitely did. Thank you guys so much for watching. Oh, and don't forget to drop a comment down below. What are you guys reading? Have you read any of these books? And also someone please let me know about All Systems Red. If you enjoyed watching, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. And until the next one, happy reading. You're just a cutie patootie, babies.